So if I've done my maths right, this should once again be a Yuri-approved poem. Hi again, Surat. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. So did hers. Her face also just kind of went all scrambled JPEG on me. Thanks for keeping your promise, Surat. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it? Wow, Natsuki completely went garbled there. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I know, right? This music does scream marshmallows, lollipops, and internet. This completely does. We were promised that this would be horror, but we spent pretty much the first 4 hours trying to put NutraSweet out of business with how saccharine this was. I say this, and yet I am prepared to eat my words at what might happen eventually. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take it seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Monica, you're kind of blocking the text there, Monica. You're kind of blocking the text. The fourth wall. Could you move back behind the fourth wall, please? Okay. Thank you. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Surat. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, thought you might have an interest in picking up a book to read? Yeah, she might have noticed I clicked on her to get her out of the way. Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in the club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. But wait! I didn't mean it like that. Ugh. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'll be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yeah, you've noticed that too, have you? We've been slowly going on a Dutch tilt here. We might even go beyond that eventually. And the music every now and then hits like someone's putting their finger on the record and slowing it down. Her sprite is getting closer, isn't it? Her head's starting to go out of frame a little bit there. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Wow, sudden restoration of normal. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that didn't seem to be the case. Yeah, right before that part, it felt like the sound kind of warped. Yeah, on this run, the purple-haired girl is vice president. On the previous run, the girl that was vice president committed suicide. And then was deleted from the game. And a complete total script rewrite. Yeah, whoever programmed this game kind of did mess up. Just a little bit. See, I see a poster on the back wall, but I can't make out what it is. I can't quite tell exactly what that is. Is it? It doesn't look like the right... It doesn't quite look right. This game was free. So, that is actually man, I cannot make that out. I really can't. I don't want to delete this game because it might actually go somewhere. I'm promised so much that it's going to go places. Huh. I can barely see it. I would have to full screen the game to see it better, and I don't want to do that because that would mess up with the recording. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Now see, if you wanted me to delete a game, you should have been here when I was trying to play Sound and Drop. That would have been worth deleting and skipping. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time... Oh, the poster's gone now, by the way. I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, it seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. I don't know. Apparently the killer works from outside the game to delete the game code. That's how the killer is working so far, it seems like. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's a book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean... What's with her eyes? I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that's turned into a human experiment prison. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. Was that the description that she gave last time? I think that's a different description than she gave me last time. I kinda think it's slightly different. I'm just saying.
But the
facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. Yuri? She has knives. She collects knives. Finding this out led to her sucking blood off of our finger at one point. In the previous run, before the game deleted the save and made me start over. The book, I mean. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kinda dark, isn't it? You made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Surat? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things, because we've known her all of one day, this run. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this is my kind of story. It's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not because... just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people, and we're all worthless anyway. I mean, I'm going to assume that's how we're supposed to read that. Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. Really, I'm going to leave now. You can keep with your demon voice. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body goes... It just kind of runs past that text. It doesn't let me actually read it. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. We are gonna do a dumb. We are definitely gonna do a dumb. The least I can do is listen. It's the literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? Her whole sprite move there. I noticed they haven't tilted the classroom up 20 degrees or so. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I'd put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah? Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. Is this from the people that did Pony Island? Is it? Oh, that makes all the sense. That makes sense then. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read, and a funny feeling of metal against my neck. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I soon realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. Oh, darn, that would have made all the sense if the people that made Pony Island had made this game. That would have made all the sense. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? Seriously, it doesn't give me a chance to read the dark text. I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess this makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I'm just looking in the background. Don't mind me. I do the same with my right arm, on the right side of the book. They are in a club after school, so there are only 2 other people in this room. That way, I turn the page, and Yuri slides her thumb after it flips aside. But holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Yeah? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and her eyes meet. Thank you very much for the following, Monica X3. Gee, I wonder what you're referencing with that name. Oh, God. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. I love my follower alert. Sometimes it works out so well. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Is it the one heading up the prison? No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. I'm not sure if that look is happy or not. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? Surat? Did something happen just now? No! Everything is fine. You don't need to delete. I mean, everything's perfectly normal. Eh? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything. Sorry, can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Don't worry. I believe you, silly. Yuri just says it sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing our poems with each other? Eh? Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. So, we don't get to show our poem to Yuri first, because she ran out of the room in a panic. Yeah, that's not concerning in the least. Let's get the bad part over with. Let's get yelled at by Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Oh God! Uh-huh! That just happened! Kinda, that one was out of nowhere. I will say that was out of nowhere. Wow. She really didn't like reading it. She really did not like reading that poem. My God, we're literally making her eyes fall out of her head. She rolled her eyes so hard they literally fell out of her head. That's what happened there. So Rod, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're so proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. And this is the exact same poem she showed us last time. The eagles can fly. Monkeys climb, crickets sleep, horses race, owls can see, cheetahs can run, eagles fly. People can try, but that's about it. We saw that before. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly! I like it when it's easy to read but hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I just had to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care about how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. So, let's get this out of the way. Hi, Sarat. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring these things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I mean, I just watched one girl's eyes fall out of her head. I'll be much better off by just going with the flow till I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Sarat. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Please don't talk about getting past barriers. Please? Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Sarat. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. And I don't know how long it would be if I just spammed the forward button. I don't know. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean like that like it's a bad thing, though. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier. I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. This is supposedly a dating sim, but anywhere we got anywhere near the dating part of it, the game reset because someone killed themselves. Yuri! I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Eh? Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Hey, Reku. Alright. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it gives you the same words in the same order. It didn't look like it. Yeah, the main character is male, yes. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I crined, glanced my surrounding, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. That's different. Okay, this is a new poem. Hole in wall was about something different last time. Hole in wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes could no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems of flat sheets of paper, the sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right here. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. So, what do you think? Huh, it's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm really not the right person to ask for feedback. Well, you get to name your own character. So Sarat is literally the name of my character. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for listening. So let's show it to Yuri, see if we get the same poem we got last time, since Monica's changed. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Eh? What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's gonna hate me. You said that out loud too. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they freeform fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki could be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost Under the Light. I think this is the same one. Maybe. Ghost Under the Light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calms breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Yeah, this music is kind of very, very typical dating sim music. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking at all. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. Yeah? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Have you played Crazy Bus? Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghost jury? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Surat. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all, even though you read it a long time. But remember, the poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. Hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I'd probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Surat. Me too. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. They needed to tune that flute. Yeah, that flute's a little bit out of tune every now and then. And yeah, the poster is back. Hang on, just 1 second. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the recording. Yeah, so it is. Okay, yep, that is definitely the hanging scene. Definitely the hanging scene. Okay. Yep, that it is. Even if they're being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. Okay. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Monica liked it. And Surat did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Surat liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Why did we... What's with the harp? That's not what I... Oh, you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Surat appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Oh god, we don't have Sayori to call on. Oh no! Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ooh. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Surat started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki, that's a little. This doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Every time the game glitches, the music goes faster. I'm willing to let this continue. Sayori isn't here to stop this, so the game's gonna die now. I'm willing to let this continue for a bit. Without Sayori here, the game's script breaks. So the game does too. Oh god, that's literally what we have. Ah, it's a meme. Yes, it is a meme. I think it's at maximum speed now, so that's kind of sad. But still, my god, this is glorious. I wouldn't say horror-y, but this is glorious. Me? Look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying it proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? Why is Yuri the one in clear? Just because she's speaking? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Okay, yeah, the one speaking gets to be clear, okay. Well, be careful, you might catch yourself on that edge, Yuri. My god. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let's run hear everything you really think. I'm sure I'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns toward me as she just noticed I was standing there. Surat! She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. What? The game just kind of warp speeded through all the dark text? Why? I wanted to see the dark text. Please tell me the game catalogs this dark. Please tell me someone has a rip of the dark text. I want to know what the evil spirits, the demon voices are telling me. Which one do we pick? Yeah, let's continue down the Yuri path here. Why not? I'm trying. It's not gonna let me. Hi, Monica. Hi. Hi. How are you this fine day? Hey, Surat? Why don't we step outside for a little bit? We completely broke it. Yes, we broke it. Rip game. Okay. Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Was it just outside the room, or are we going to step into VR space or something here? It was just out of the room, luckily. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'll be happy to spend time with you instead. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I'm good taking my chances with the knife wielder. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. That is not a happy look. Natsuki is wanting to throttle me, it looks like. And runs away. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri's rocking back and forth on her desk with her palms on her phone. We broke the game. I'm surprised I would be more surprised if there was music. Yuri? I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki. Or did. Surat, please don't hate me. Please? I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Now I'm going to give you a little counseling session. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. I'll have a counseling session with her, too. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Wait a minute, we didn't get the message to trade poetry. Natsuki didn't get the message to actually write a poem with us if we get one. This could be a problem. The game's going to have to glitch again, isn't it? Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take that responsibility today. It kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not like that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Surat. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble. Well, that kind of skipped ahead. That kind of skipped ahead. Just a little bit. Tiny bit of skipping ahead there. And we never got told to write a poem. Why are we writing a poem? Why are we writing the poem? I mean, it wasn't discussed, and we don't have an assignment. Okay, fair enough. Back to the Yuri support here. Massacre. Yeah, I guess lust. No, maybe explode. Cully. Tears. Unending, maybe. Misfortune. None of these are great. Nice climax. Disarray. Agonizing. Tragedy. So far, Yuri's been happy with every choice. Excuse me, folks. Death. Contamination. Yeah. Horror. Restrained. Unrestrained, maybe, out of this list. Sticky, or no, unstable. Unstable's better. Covet. I'd watch her, but I'm going to miss it because I'm looking at the words. There's suicide. There's depression. Grief. Grief is better. Great, we broke this part too. We broke this. What is that word? I can't read Dingbat. It broke. What happens if I pick this? I'm picking it. Yay! I broke it more! Let's see. Hurt. An entropy. I broke it more!